Tim Cook, Jony Ive, and Laurene Powell Jobs got together last week at CodeCon 2022, a tech conference hosted by Vox Media. For the occasion, Tim Cook revealed that one of his big disagreements with Steve Jobs was about how to sell the iPhone. In this video, we will look in detail at his biggest argument with Steve Jobs and how it ended. So make sure you stick with me to the end. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. What caused Steve Jobs and Tim Cook's disagreement? When the iPhone launched in 2007, the norm in the United States was to sell subsidized phones to show customers an inexpensive entry ticket along with a monthly payment. Behind the scenes, the operators dictated their conditions to the manufacturers with precise specifications. This allowed them to have the assurance of selling a few 100,000 devices while making a nice margin in the process. Tim Cook wanted to start with this traditional method, mobile phone operators like AT&T paying Apple part of the cost of the iPhone upstream before reimbursing them by replenishing the coffers via the customer's monthly subscription. For his part, Steve Jobs wanted to break this norm. He wanted to push carriers to directly pay for stock iPhones while taking a cut of carriers' monthly revenue, a percentage of customer subscriptions. A surprising change in the market at the time. Cook explained during CodeCon that Steve Jobs' method was more creative and different, while he would have been faster, or so he was convinced. According to Tim Cook, they had a discussion about this subject for a while, and it was a discussion over several years. If Jobs' solution was adopted at the beginning of the iPhone, Apple has distanced itself from this system to approach the sales model desired by Cook. The idea of invoicing the user monthly, however, remained through the development of services, on which Apple derives a substantial margin compared to its sale of hardware. In other news, China's strong position as a technology manufacturer is eroding, booting from the iPhone. China has established itself as one of the world's leading consumer technology manufacturers. However, the Asian behemoth is now observing how huge multinationals in the sector are looking for options outside of its boundaries. The strengths that made it an ideal location years ago are no longer there, and clouds have appeared on the horizon that work against it. What could be going on? Large international corporations in the industry are attempting to spread their manufacturing beyond China. Of course, keep an eye out for the intriguing labor costs supplied by the Asian labor market. The New York Times provides an excellent picture to demonstrate this. Apple manufactures iPads in northern Vietnam. Microsoft exports Xbox from Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, while Amazon manufactures Fire TV devices in Chennai, India's easternmost city. All of these items were previously assembled in China. The Apple case study. Apple has maybe provided the most archetypal illustration of what happens. According to TNYT, Apple will produce and package a tiny portion of its next flagship gadget, the iPhone 14, in India for the first time. Not only that, but although the majority of the initial manufacturing is still in China, Apple intends to relocate a portion of the iPhone to India later, allowing it to assess its capacity in the nation, among other things. Of course, experience in other regions of Asia has helped. The business has previously made AirPods in Vietnam, and the Financial Times recently reported that Cupertino is negotiating to create Apple Watches and MacBooks in the same nation for the first time. Around 20 of Apple's top 200 suppliers are based in Vietnam. Foxconn has also just struck a $1 million agreement to grow and create employment in the country's north. Apple is not the only company that appears to be venturing outside Asia's Popular Republic. According to the New York Times, Google also intends to relocate production from Foxconn's facilities in southern China to Vietnam and construct the Pixel 7 phone there. What is the explanation behind the trend? As is nearly always the case, it is owing to a complicated combination of elements, one of which is critical to understanding the scenario: manufacturing costs. As China's As performance in the industry has grown, it has ceased to be the cheapest alternative. Chinese factory employees' yearly salaries have tripled in the last decade. Labor prices are not the only ones in the country that have been permitted to fluctuate in recent years. There are also all the additional costs. China, for example, showed no regard for environmental concerns. It is no longer the most respectful country, but it is beginning to have a series of legislations, and it is no longer worth doing anything, explains Feiju, citing additional considerations such as more control and the economic ramifications of corruption in the country. In recent years, there has also been tension between the United States and China in international politics. There's the trade battle that prompted the Trump administration to boost taxes on Chinese imports in 2019, and more recently, the tensions caused by Nancy Pelosi's travel to Taiwan in August, a far from normal connection. In light of this, Joe Biden's team just declared that U.S. tech businesses receiving government money will be barred from constructing advanced technology facilities in China for a whole decade. Although some corporations appear to be exploring other latitudes in Asia outside China, the truth is that the Asian behemoth has established itself as one of the world's largest makers of electronic products. The weight is overwhelming, and changing the circumstances is difficult. Although China's industrial activity has decreased, the truth is that competing with its muscle and concentration of suppliers is difficult. Other Asian countries would already be affected by the circumstance. Increased interest in other areas, such as Vietnam, has caused the price of its industrial real estate to rise. Next up, all iPhone 15s should have a dynamic island. Do you agree with that? If there is one clearly distinctive element between the iPhone 14 and the Pro models, it is the dynamic island. Not only does it hide the perforations necessary for the true depth sensors, but above all, it is a new interface and design element with interaction in iOS. Apple would not intend to let this island be the prerogative of the iPhone Pro. Ross Young says today that the dynamic island should appear on all iPhone 15 models. The analysis of DSCC, a specialist in the screen industry, has rarely crashed lately. Future buyers of standard iPhone models next year should therefore also be able to play with Dynamic Island. On the other hand, the Pro Motion technology and the always-on screen would still not be part of it due to the difficulties of large-scale production of LTPO panels. These two elements would therefore remain on the Pro range, and this at least until 2024, and the iPhone 16 still according to Young. What do we have next? Well, iPhone 14 and Apple Watch Series 8 are now available. iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro, and iPhone 14 Pro Max. The three new iPhones are now available in the usual online and physical stores: Fnac, Boulanger, Amazon, Darty, and of course the Apple stores, as well as the Apple premium resellers. Apple Watch Series 8 and second generation Apple Watch SE are also hitting shelves today. For the Apple Watch Ultra, we will have to wait until September 23rd. According to the information reaching us, all these new products are in stock in Apple stores. Concerning iPhones, the supply is mainly made up of 128 and 256 gigabyte models, several times free of charge in store. A few hiccups are to be deplored. For the launch of the iPhone 14, customers have seen their delivery date delayed by several days. First-time users may encounter an activation problem, and Apple has recognized a messages activation bug and FaceTime. The iPhone 14 is sold for €1,019, and the 14 Pro for €1,329, and the 14 Pro Max for €1,479. For now, only operators are making reductions. SFR Red offers a reduction of €100 on all models, provided you take a package. As usual, Sosh applies a discount of €50 on all models, from Apple prices and without conditions. What we have next is quite interesting. Xiaomi develops a new external battery for iPhone. iPhone. Xiaomi has created a wireless charger that is intended for Apple devices. This device is called Xiaomi Wireless Power Bank. It is compatible with MagSafe and can be used as if it were a wireless charger or a portable battery. The accessory is designed to be carried in the hand. It is 12 millimeters thick. It offers 5,000 milliamp hours of battery capacity. It can be connected directly to an electrical network, and it works as a wireless charger, both in a vertical or horizontal position. Xiaomi Wireless Power Bank is compatible with iPhone 12, iPhone 13, and iPhone 14. In addition, it can charge the phone at a power of 7.5 watts, the slowest wireless charging standard, since iPhone mobiles support up to 15 watts of charging wireless. The battery comes with a small base to recharge, considering that the set works as a dock for the mobile. Although it is designed for iPhone, it has a USB-C port to which you can connect a cable for other compatible devices. The price of Xiaomi Wireless Power Bank will be approximately 29 euros, although at the moment it is unknown if the novelty will be sold outside the local market and will arrive in our country. So that concludes today's video. If you found the video helpful, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching. See you next time.